this is what he's describing here. My experience with pornography that deals with the violence level with sexuality is once you become addicted to it, I would keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more stimulating, more graphic kinds of material to satiate my need.
And you asked me to come here from California because you had something you wanted to say. It is not just an interview with a man who's scheduled to die tomorrow morning. I am here and you're here because of this message that you're talking about right here. You really feel that hardcore pornography and the doorway to it, softcore pornography, is doing untold damage to other people and causing other women to be abused and killed the way you did ours.
Listen, I'm no social scientist, and I haven't done a survey. I mean, I don't pretend that I know what John Q. Citizen thinks about this. But I've lived in prison for a long time now, and I've met a lot of men who were motivated to commit violence just like me. And without exception, every one of them was deeply involved in pornography, without question, without exception, deeply influenced and consumed by an addiction to pornography. There's no question about it. The FBI's own study on serial homicide shows that the most common interest among serial killers is pornography.
That's true.
And it's real. It's true.
Ted, what would your life have been like without that influence? You can only speculate.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff. Now, I think it's really important for me to preface this by saying that just because this individual is saying that pornography played a significant factor in him committing the atrocities and the murders that he did, doesn't mean that it was solely the responsibility of pornography, but he said it from the horse's mouth. There is a surprising continuity between serial killers, between individuals who murder, individuals who are in prison, and the use of this material. And the interviewer made a very interesting point there in respects to the gateway into this process being softcore pornography. What is softcore pornography? This is the stuff we're coming into contact every single day. This is the stuff we're slowly getting numb to because it's just becoming a part of our daily environment. You can't even open your phone on Instagram without seeing some scantily clad woman in bikini, yoga pants, TikTok dancers, music videos now. You've seen these music videos now with like Nicki Minaj and that ginger girl. Abhorrent behavior, abhorrent sexual engaging behavior, which is freely accessible to the youth. I mean, I can't remember how old I was when I got a mobile phone, but when I have a mobile phone, it was black and white. Like there was no colors. I had Snake on my phone. I think it was like a Nokia, something like that. It was a flip phone. But there are 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds who have access to this screen with greater real estate, and they're interfacing with these things. It's very psychic. There's a psychic exchange that's going on when they're watching these music videos with, nudie women like Cardi B and, her contemporaries, and they're interfacing with this kind of material, and it's having a real, not just a biological effect on them, but a psychic effect on them. The other way I like to phrase this is, if you could tell one of your ancestors hundreds of thousands of years ago that they would get to experience every kind of type of woman, height, race, hair color, ethnicity, body shape, from the convenience of their pocket in any sexually explicit behavior, let's say that some black magic was going on. It really is remarkable what we allow ourselves to be, we can get access to now. And I think the access is the problem. Now, guys that know me very well, have watched my videos for a long time, understand that I have a, what would you say, less than dualistic opinion of life. I actually believe we need pornography because you can only conceive a life without it, with knowing that it exists. Another analogy I can give you is a sober man can only experience the joys of sobriety by knowing what it's like to be addicted to alcohol. In the same way, you can't recognize the purity and the femininity of a very shy and virgin woman without recognizing there are individuals out there who are very, what would you say, frivolous with their intimacy, who sell it for a price tag online, the hundreds of thousands of people who get access to the most private aspects of their life. If I could wave my wand and say that I could get rid of it today, I would love to be able to say that I would do that. But the reality is that this physical reality doesn't work in that way. And we actually need those examples to recognize when there is purity, when there is a little bit of self-respect and dignity out there in the world, because that's what we're looking for. We need the bad to look away from that bad and move towards the good. Unfortunately, we need individuals like Ted Bundy who exist, who have committed horrible atrocities in life, to recognize that, hey, if I don't shapen up, if I don't look at what my habits are doing and recognize that my viewing of this kind of material is getting more abhorrent by the day, that it's starting to escalate and degenerate into more serious stuff, it's going to change the way that I interface with women. It's going to make me realize that they are, or I'm going to have the opinion that they are objects for my own sexual gratification. And they're not actually people with hopes and dreams and families and sons and daughters and mothers and brothers. You see them as less than human. And that's certainly the continuity Ted Bundy was sharing there in respects to the individuals that he shared a jail cell with. It really is remarkable. I'm just going to go through this very quickly. On the afternoon before he was executed, Bundy granted an interview to James Dobson, a psychologist and founder of the Christian evangelical organization focusing on family. He used the opportunity to make new claims about violence in the media and the pornographic roots of its crimes. It happened in stages, gradually, he said. My experience with pornography is that it deals on a violent level with sexuality once you become more addicted to it. So the violent aspect of it, as it starts to degenerate into more and more very pernicious types of material, there is something to be said about the Coolidge effect, and maybe that isn't the correct effect to reference here, but sexual satiety, meaning the material that you're watching becomes normal to a point where you recognize you need higher and higher stimulus, which usually includes violence and some very, very obscene kinds of graphic material. And this is what he's describing here. My experience with pornography that deals with the violence level with sexuality is once you become addicted to it, I would keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more stimulating, more graphic kinds of material to satiate my needs. Until you reach a point where the pornography goes only so far, where you all of a sudden, it's kind of cut off here, but I imagine the end of the sentence is all of a sudden you look for more physically stimulating ways. So you're looking for activities in real life that could satiate your need for violence and sexual gratification, to the point where he's raping women, where he's killing people. This is, and I will say that this particular post is from an individual who believes that porn was a scapegoat for him mentioning these crimes. And whilst I don't believe that's entirely true, I did preface by saying that we can only surmise that pornography plays a percentage of the reason that he is degenerating into these kinds of acts of atrocities. But it is interesting. It is interesting how he references other individuals in similar circumstances, murderers, rapists, the lowest people in the earth, and the clinical study, I think he mentioned there, referenced that there is a continuity of interest in pornographic use. And I can't say it better than that. What does this mean for you guys? It means you need to be careful about what you allow yourself to experience and how far you're willing to allow your sexual satiety to go when you're viewing this kind of material. You know my personal opinion. I don't believe there's anything conducive to your life by including this kind of material in your daily viewership, and you'd be well to eliminate it from your life. You will become more holistic, more whole, more divine, more generative, and you will be congruent with the spirit and universe and God. You'll find karma is on your side. You'll recognize your ancestors are looking down at you with a smile on their face. And that's what I believe you should do. Get rid of it. It has no benefit to your life. These aren't theories, these are facts. Speak soon.